It's not feasible to find a decent place to live on minimum wage in Toronto.
I currently have a place to live due to the love of my friends and good karma, and when they retire, I'll be on the street. If they hadn't been there for me, I'd be on the street now.
Don't mind coming, it's not yet here, but my mind is already in the rent.
Toronto's need for housing that people can afford is rapidly growing. Over 160,000 people are on the centralized wait list for social housing. When they apply, they're told they could wait 5 years to up to a decade or even longer. People Power Media spoke with Torontonians who are struggling because rent consumes nearly all of their income.
I was working 6 days a week, 11.5 hours a day at minimum wage, and it was just covering my rent.
When I first phoned my friend, I said, things seem to be collapsing here and I'm not going to have any money. Do you know of anybody with a place to live? And he said, yeah, I have a friend who has a place for $700 a month. And that was okay, but I didn't have $700 a month. At that time, I had nothing.
Housing Connections manages Toronto's centralized social housing waitlist, including Toronto Community Housing.
People come to us on a daily basis looking for rent-geared income housing, and we give them an eligibility number and tell them to keep in touch once a year, and they'll be housed in 5 to 10 years.
I asked the lady there, how could I apply for subsidized housing? And she said to me, oh, it takes 5 to 10 years. And I'm thinking, I'm paying for 5 to 10 years again I have to wait for that. That's why until now, I'm still here. And we stay here in the living room, and one of my friends is in the bed, one bedroom.
Victoria is renting out the only bedroom in her apartment to a friend. She's taking care of her niece and nephew because her sister died. The three of them sleep in the living room. An average one-bedroom apartment in Toronto costs $980 a month. So, to be able to afford it, your monthly income should be well over $3,000. By this measure, minimum wage earners like retail clerks and receptionists need to work 80 hours a week to afford their rent. Those we talk to desperately need what's called rent geared to income, the most affordable type of housing accessed through the centralized wait list. Those without rent geared to income housing rely on charities like Scott Mission for their basic needs.
People that come to the Scott Mission for help are in need of food. A great portion of their income goes to pay the rent. And after the rent is paid, their focus is survival oriented.
People wait for years for social housing in Toronto. In the meantime, their situations change.
When I applied for the TCHC list, I was able to walk and I could do stairs and such. And as time went on, I became weaker and weaker, and location became more vital. In December or January, finally I couldn't walk anymore at all. And I haven't seen my backyard since last year.
There's not a whole lot of rental housing being built, and there's not a whole lot of subsidized housing being built. So we do see year over year the size of the wait list increasing. And the folks who are on the wait list, the negative impacts of not having affordable housing take their toll.
It's just hard, to not take it personally. But because I've waited 12 years and I see people who've only waited 8 years and they get housing, and I try not to take it personally.
It's going to be difficult to keep the economic engine of Toronto going if workers can't live in the city. So it makes sense to start reinvesting in affordable housing to make the city a better place to live. And if the social reasons of having quality affordable housing aren't the drivers, it should be the economic reasons.
It is Toronto. It's where I grew up. I know this place. They don't let us down.